Hello guys, Craig from fixitfallows, and today we are dealing with the Fiat 500. So, what have we got in the box? Well, the box comes from AliExpress, surprise. Okay, so in here we have a touchscreen 7-inch Android /AppleCarPlay unit, okay, and it replaces the original radio unit that's in the Fiat 500. This bit here would be where the original radio unit was, and as you can see, that would be the top vents. So we take out the original radio, we take out the vents, and then it slides directly into place. It's a single DIN unit at the back, and we get a multitude of connections. Now, talking of the car, me and the radio unit are here, just outside of London, but the car is actually up here in Lancaster. So this is going to involve a little bit of a road trip, and the road trip is going to be in my lovely Audi TT. So we've arrived in Lancaster. This was our overnight stay. Very nice place. The Stalk, highly recommended. And we have rendezvoused with the Fiat 500. Now all we need to do is get the radio in there. Right, okay, so here we are inside the Fiat 500, and now we've just got to get on and take out the old radio and put the new one in there. Okay, so give me a classic case of whenever you remove these radios, you need to remove the little blanking plates here, here, here and here, and then use the removal keys. Okay, so let's get these little blanking plates out. Just use a little blade. There's one. There's the other. Now take your keys, push them in, push them all the way in, and you have to push them outwards, jiggle it about. And out it comes. Okay, it does take a little bit of positioning. Sometimes you might push these in too far or not. You just hear them click into place. But a bit of outward pressure, a bit of jiggling around, and the radio unit does come forward like so. Okay, and we reach around, pull out the aerial cable. Let's see if we can get a little bit more slack. Okay, now you can see the plug on the back here, two little tabs. Just have to push them in and to pull this out. It's a little bit tight, it can be a bit fiddly. Just got to work it out. There we go. And there is your connector out, and this radio is completely removed and now, hopefully, no longer required. Okay, at this point you can see the wiring loom that comes with the new radio head unit. This socket here, this grey plug just goes straight into there, and then you just make your relevant connections to the back of the new unit. Right, now, so before we go any further, we need to remove this fan unit, and there is a screw in there, Phillips head, and a screw in there, and then we just need to tease out the top. So let's get those screws out. There's one. There's two, and then I've just got a little tool here, and it just unclips from there, and then the bottom plastic tabs just get caught on the metal frame there, so you just have to tease them out a little bit, and then it all comes out. What we can do is we can put this back bit back in there so that the blowers are projected forwards. So it just means prizing off the tabs around here to remove the front grills. You'll lose your left to right control, but you will keep the thumb controls. So I've started prizing the top tabs, and I've just put a couple of wooden stirrers in there just to keep those tabs open, and I'm going to flip it over and do the sides and the bottom ones. Okay, and you see the front grille comes away and you're just left with the back unit. And on the back unit you do have control of the opening and shutting of the vents, but okay, the vanes are there, but you won't really have any directional control over them unless you poke something through. So anyway, I'm going to slide that back in there for the moment and see how we get on. So that's back in there like that. Actually, before I go any further, I'm just going to take that back out of there. The reason being is that this is the GPS sensor module that attaches to the new radio. Now I am actually going to try fitting it in there, maybe sitting it on top of the metal cage there, and see whether that gets good enough GPS reception. I mean, it could well be that it's no good in there, then we do have to get it out and put it somewhere up on the dashboard. You get this nice long cable. But I'm going to try it in there first, see if I can fit it in there, and then try and put the air vents back in. So first things first, I just need to fish the cable back down into there so that I can then attach the cable to the end or the back of the new radio unit. Okay, I'm just going to leave it sat between the two ducts there for the moment, and I'm going to see whether this unit offers back in. And it does, so that's good news. Right, so pull that out of there. There is some double-sided tape on the back of there. Yeah, maybe I'm a bit premature sticking this down yet. Let's see. We'll give it a go. Okay, it's stuck down. Vents are back in. Right. Let's see if we can offer in the new radio unit. Right, okay, so this is the new unit. This is the back of the unit, so this is where all the connections are made. There is a whole host of options in the box of the new radio unit. If you want to connect subwoofers, woofers, there are cables in there for USB connections. I'm not going to be using the majority of those. I'm not even using the USB connections. My daughter is happy to continue using the USB port in the 12-volt socket down there. So what we're going to be connecting is the existing radio harness, the existing radio aerial, and the GPS cable. Now, in the box of the radio unit I bought, I also got a DAB antennae, and I also got a rear parking view camera. My daughter doesn't need a rear parking camera on a Fiat 500, because if you can't park one of these, well, you shouldn't be driving. And secondly, she's saying that she don't want DAB radio because she don't listen to radio. She's Gen Z, she listens to Spotify, hence she wants a Apple CarPlay connected radio unit. So I've not got to put in the DAB or the rear view parking camera, so it's a nice simple installation. The other thing, this is a Fiat 500 pop, so it doesn't have any steering wheel controls. If it did have steering wheel controls, then I would be definitely installing this little unit, which is the CAN bus unit. So the CAN bus unit is what tries to keep the car's current sort of logic of thinking, knowing what units are in the car or working properly. But because we don't have any steering wheel controls, this isn't really going to be necessary on this particular car. That said, I don't suppose there's any reason not to connect it, so I'm talking myself into it, I might as well connect it. But this car doesn't have Blue and Me, which is a Fiat 500 or a Fiat feature that allows your mobile phone to connect to existing radio units. This doesn't have Bluetooth, so this car does not have the Blue and Me module. The Blue and Me module in cars can cause a little bit of problems. It can cause your mileometer on your dashboard to flash. In that event, you need to actually plug in some software that Fiat has to reset the whole car system. I haven't got to worry about it in this, or you can just live with the flashing mileage. But my understanding is the reason why it flashes is because the Blue and Me module, which is situated over behind, I think it's in the rear quarter behind the passenger seat, the Blue and Me unit will detect the radio has been removed, and it will be looking for it, and when it can't find it, it will send a message to the car's management system saying there's a fault, and then that is represented by the flashing mileage. I'm not sure whether if you disconnect the battery when you're installing the new radio, whether that would kind of stop the system from thinking something was missing, and then ultimately when the new radio is put back in and the canvas box trick thing here is connected, it would all be good. Might be worth considering disconnecting your battery first in that instance. I haven't got to worry because I don't have the Blue and Me. So depending on what radio aerial connector you have coming through from your dashboard, you can either use this cable or this adapter. Okay, now for me, I'm using this adapter because that connects to my existing radio cable there, and then this goes into the radio head unit there. So I'm going to put that into the radio unit in there, and then as you can see, my radio cable built into the car then connects to that, no problem. Right, let's take the harness, let's connect that up, that's in. I can then take this little CAN bus box and connect, I think, yep, that goes onto there, like that. And then hopefully I can stuff all of this down into the back of the dashboard there. Now it's just a question of connecting this to the radio unit, which I do like so. In it goes. The GPS connection goes onto here. And then the radio aerial. Let's put the radio aerial in. Where has it just gone? Has it just disappeared? There we are. I'm going to try turning this all on before I slot it into the dashboard. So let's push the radio aerial on. It's on. Let's just have it sat in the dashboard like that. Let's try turning the car on. Right, here goes. We have life. Certainly not the quickest boot up. But there we are, we have something that's functioning. That's good news. Let's go. We definitely have music coming. Not sure where that music's coming from. Now it's just a question of getting the unit back into the dashboard. Now there is a lot of cables back there. I'm not going to lie to you, it takes a lot of fiddling to get all of those cables in, but I think I'm getting there. So I've got it back this far. I think I might now need to use these to sort of effectively close off the tabs and get it pushed back in. Let's give that a go. It's still meeting some sort of resistance there. It's hitting on something. What's it hitting on? Okay, we'll have to fiddle around again. Okay, so it's in. Okay, there is a slight little bit of gap at the top and maybe a little bit at the bottom, but not so much to worry about. But the unit is in. We have Google Maps. It knows where we are. There we go. Yeah, we'll see how good it is in practice over a period of time once my daughter connects her phone to it, but it's in. Right, so here we are back in the car, and as you can see, we are not in Lancaster anymore. A bit of time has passed and we are now back south. We are just outside of London on the early part of Essex. But the car is back with us as it's Easter, so the car has come back and I can now finish off this video. As you can see, the radio unit is in the car. This is an Essgoo, Essgoo. And I did not install any of the USB cables. Okay, so there's no USB cables hanging around or anything like that, because we're going for complete wireless use of Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. But as you can see, we do have the radio working, and if I go to radio
one as well,
there
right
you
now
go. You can see here that's all working well. You've got your graphic equalizers you can play around with. Okay, let's turn that off, otherwise we will get shut down by the YouTube police. And what else can we do? Let's go back out. There's so many different ways. You can use the touchscreen or you can use the controls here. So let's just go menu. Okay, you can scroll. Okay, Chrome, music, video, Bluetooth, what have we got? YouTube. Well, that's only if you're connected to your phone and you're using the data from your phone, which we haven't yet done. And so what do we want to do? Let's see. Let's scroll. And if we press the button here, navigation, Google Maps opens up. You can change what your navigation is by default. You can have it as Google Maps or Waze. We've got it as Google Maps. And let's go location. And continue device needs to use, yes. And there we go, it zooms in on where we are. Okay, it's Google Maps just as you know it. Okay, at the moment we've got no data connection, so I couldn't do a route planner because I'm not connected to the phone. I would say at this point that my daughter has connected her Apple phone successfully, so that's all working, but I'm filming from my phone, which is an Android, and I haven't yet connected this. So if we come out of this now, things people always struggle with these radio head units is how to connect wirelessly. So what you want to do, you're in your list of apps, you scroll to the side, keep scrolling until you find Z-Link 5. Open that. Okay, it opens up saying wireless mirroring. Now we don't want to do mirroring, we want to use Android Auto or CarPlay. But just for argument's sake, if you did want to do mirroring, you can do wireless mirroring, or you can do here wired mirroring. Obviously you'd need the USB cables attached for wired mirroring, but anyway. But we don't want to do mirroring, we want to do CarPlay and Android Auto. So if we press this button here, okay, it now goes into the start of the setup for doing your CarPlay or Android Auto. So what it's saying there, you either got to use your USB or your Bluetooth. Well, we've already established we're not doing USB, we want to do Bluetooth. So you need to activate the Bluetooth on your phone, and you need to connect to the Bluetooth for this radio unit. Now ours is called Car BT, which I'm probably sure yours will be too. So it's just a case of going through that process and doing that. Just follow the instructions and you'll get there. In the settings, you can say whether you're a right or left-hand drive vehicle. Obviously in the UK we're all right-hand drive. Floating navigation, that's if you so if we've got floating navigation on, if we go back to menu, you can see there that the Z-Link icon will float over anything else you're showing. So we're in sort of say radio, and the Z-Link is there, and we can just press that and it takes us straight back to Z-Link for your connection. Now you may not want that on, don't really need it on really, so I'm going to switch that back off. Default connections, link mode first, mirroring mode first. We want link mode first. Okay, that's good to that. And then you can check for updates. Well, obviously you can only do that once you've established the data connection. And then there's the about, and there's all the details of this unit. Yeah, you just need to go through this process of connecting your Bluetooth to the car, and then that will all work. Hope that works well for you. A bit difficult for me to connect as I'm filming on the phone, but rest assured my daughter's iPhone is all connected to it. Yeah, all good. It's actually quite an impressive little unit for the price. Anyway, there's lots you can do. As you can see, you've got a list of menus. Once you're all connected, you can use the Play Store and then download more apps if you want them. You've got to really think of this as a tablet, really. A tablet set in the dashboard of your car that connects to your phone. Play around with it as much as you like. It's much the same as any Android tablet you've ever used before. So thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you again very soon.